damn, the Bears defense really let down Justin Fields.
Well, the one thing I'll say, which is maybe good if you're a Bears fan, is to see this progression from Justin Fields where he made some truly fantastic rushing plays and just like was able to really put the team on his back and kind of like call his own number a few times is the fact that he's improving, looking better, and they're losing games, so they're not getting too far out of the lottery,
Right,
too far
right.
out of the. So it's like as much as it's a bummer. Of course, I want them to win, but I'm almost like if if at the very least they're competitive in these losses and losing, they're not going to get like the 11th pick maybe or something like
Well,
that.
and like they also have a defensive head coach who should be able to, with a little bit more personnel,
No,
fix that defense.
exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, but Justin Fields, he's changed the Bears. They're fun. Like they've scored
Oh yeah.
30
Oh
points
yeah.
around that. I mean, they last two games they've scored over 30 points. I think in the last four games. Let me look that up really quickly. Again, this is my Mike Francesa kind of. So 31 or 30 points, 34 against the Patriots, 29 against the Cowboys, 32 against the Dolphins over
And
this
even
last recent
and
stretch.
even 29 against the Cowboys.
Right, that's what I just said that.
Oh, sorry. I thought, which one were we talking about?
No,
Oh, no, no, so,
those are the last four games, like where they are very close to 30 points, if not over. And so, I mean, and honestly, look, Justin Fields did make like some poor decisions in this game. He threw a pick six to Jeff Okuda, and but then he after that he ran for a 67-yard touchdown run. I mean, that is the kind of athlete that he is. Right now, he just has this level of explosion where he scrambled I think for like 13 times for 147 yards and two touchdowns just on the ground, plus he threw two touchdowns to Cole Kmet, who is coming on in and of himself, who I had like
oh yeah, that was
a
awesome to
draft
see.
crush on coming out of Notre Dame. I was like, what a specimen. Great pickup for the Bears. They didn't have a first round pick in the draft where they took him because the
Right.
Giants, they
Right.
traded it to the Giants. And so that was their one pick. And it's just like, oh my God, do they need another tight end? But you do see, I mean, he is a special talent and I'm happy
And
to
like
see him come on.
put him in a place to succeed, get him wide, get him open, and he's durable, he's strong, and and to his great credit, that was like it wasn't like he was just like kind of standing stock still in the end zone. Like he caught it in space and took it all the way home. So it was kind of cool to see because I think I agree with you. I've been in on Cole Kmet too, and I'm happy to see him playing well. Happy to see them playing well together, like finding a
Oh
connection,
yeah. I
which
mean,
is
those
so
are two
nice. Like
yeah, those are two athletes at their
oh my God, yeah.
positions.
The second rushing touchdown for Fields was unbelievable because it was basically like it was like a Houdini act. It was like he had no options and just basically shouldered off like three tackles and just took it all the way to the house.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that, I think at times he maybe didn't want to rely on his athleticism so much. Like he wanted to kind of be a guy who could stay in the pocket and uncork his arm, which of course is still a great arm. He
Yeah.
does really have a very, very good arm.
He has
And
really good arm strength. I don't know if he's yet like fitting it into really tight
right,
windows,
right.
but
He has like the
you've
distance.
seen that Jalen Hurts, who has a strong arm, but
Yes.
maybe isn't like tight window throwing, that you can still have a lot of success with that. And then
And
it
imagine
can come
with better
along like
receiving
Josh
talent,
Allen.
right,
Like
yeah.
I'm
And
not saying that either of those two guys have Josh Allen's arm. Like that's almost an insult to Josh Allen. But they're both very, very good.
And
both of
imagine
them.
imagine
Yeah.
if like Chase Claypool isn't essentially their like wide receiver one. He's
Mm-hmm.
like their wide receiver 3 or 4, and they're
I
able.
think he can be a wide receiver one, but they do need a second guy.
I guess I just think if they have a little bit more versatility and more dynamism in their selections for him, you'll see so much more from
Yeah.
him. And the fact that now he's showing what he can do with his feet. That if he doesn't see anything open, he can look around and say basically check down to himself, check down to the scramble, which I think is to allude to another dual threat quarterback is what Lamar at his best really excels at is taking things into his own hands and just getting moving and scrambling forward where he can.
Yeah.
So I'm just very happy for him, and I hope this continues.
I'm
the
happy
rest
for
of
the
season.
Bears. I want
And
the
the
Bears.
Bears too. I love the pick when it happened.
But
Like,
and I just realized like with Claypool and Komet out there, Kmet's 6'6", Claypool's 6'4", size mismatch, totally. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh, oh yeah.
they need a speedy guy they can get out in space and maybe be more creative.
Exactly.
Mooney's okay, but somebody else that they can get for cheap in the draft, and just then that
Have a little
opens
bit
up the
more
offense, right?
nuance.
A
Like
little more, right, right.
two big guys, one burner. Like, because I think as we both said, there are, I love, obviously I love like guys who are good route runners, ball winners, but like you said, especially um in this version of the NFL. In receiving talent, speed wins. Speed
Mm-hmm.
wins out.
Yes.
So it would just be great for him to have that option where either he can throw to a guy in the flat or a screen pass who can just take it far after the catch, or just burn safeties and burn linebackers in space to get further out near the in distance. So
Yeah, defense looks like crap.
oh, bad,
Put up
very
nearly
bad,
50
very
points
bad.
to the Cowboys, but at the same time,
But I mean, they got rid of Robert Quinn, got rid of Roquan Smith. Like,
that's
I
to
think
be
it's the point,
expected.
right? I think
Yeah,
it's almost like by design.
they're going to
right?
rebuild the defense in Eberflus's image, and so
Right.
this is kind of a good scenario for Bears fans. This was never going to be the season where they took the NFC North. That's maybe next year when they get some more Jimmies and Joes on the defense, and they have a lot of cap space to work with. Like,
That's also the great thing too. Is
that's
they
why
have
Ryan Poles just was like, we can't extend Roquan Smith. We're not doing anything with Robert Quinn. Let's get this off our books, and then we can maybe make a splash in free agency.
It seems as if they have nearly like $100 million or something crazy in
Yeah.
cap space, and a slew of picks in next year's draft. So like, I think, as I was saying, in terms of like both the combination of Fields coming out a little bit more and the draft placement is, Fields improving like this and playing like this with the talent around him now. If they can really retool in the offseason, both through the draft and through free agency, this is like house money.
Yeah.
Playing well, hopefully even if it's by coincidence necessarily, or by design, given how the defense is playing, just seeing him improve while staying in having a good plum position in the draft and also, if they can do that and Fields is still improving, they don't need to fish for a quarterback. They can let the other teams who desperately need a quarterback or want a quarterback go for the guys in the draft. Go for C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and Will Levis before they go anywhere, and they could avail themselves of, maybe, who's to say, the best one or two offensive tackles in the draft, the best one or two wide receivers in the draft. Like, I think it's really, as much as it might be might be frustrating for Bears fans to see them continue to like score a lot, see Fields improve, and not get some notches in the W column, I think it's okay given everything else around him going forward. This is about the future. This isn't about this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they're not at this point in the draft right now, but they could be in the Will Anderson sweepstakes. That
would be unbelievable.
That would be like a cornerstone player.
100%,
out of Alabama.
One of if not, I would say, the best guy on that Alabama defense right now.
Ooh, baby.
He's a killer. Like,
they are just so good at attracting talent, that team. Man.
And in the trenches too. It's always these guys on the lines. It's always the defensive line, offensive line, just like blue chip guys.
Yeah.
1 through 10, basically. Like, they could field a whole entire squad of offensive and defensive linemen.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, looking out for the Bears, and just a footnote here, the Lions' first road win since 2020.
Wow. What,
December of 2020.
Was there any crying? Did we get any Dan Campbell crying footage?
Look, I mean, at least their back-to-back wins for that team is
really
more than I expected.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I had the Bears as
who
my
it is.
best bet. I did not anticipate the defense being that bad. And also, look, I mean, they were not set up well by that pick six by Fields.
No.
At the same time, it's just like, can't really blame the offense for that for these losses.
You can't. The Lions have had a similar problem, which is that they've been in games with how much they've been able to score, and then victory gets extracted from the jaws. Defeat gets extracted from the jaws of victory, essentially.
Right.